I don't have the post written up yet, but just remind people to pay attention for the Bybit trading competition.
Oh yeah, I saw that was coming around, and somebody was writing you asking about it. That's great that we get a team in there.
Yeah, so we've got a team already, and there's 6 people, but I got to do a post to be able to join. So
okay, well maybe you talk about it a little bit, in the intro. I'll just lead you into it.
Yeah, I'll just send you the. Well, we can just talk about it. I don't want to send any links yet because I'll have a step-by-step how to join.
Maybe I'll get that. I'll do that. I'll get all this. Don't worry about all the weeds. Okay. All right. So I think we're live now. We should be.
Yeah, we're good. I just alerted everyone.
All right. So I'll mention the team thing just at the beginning because it'll be mostly members anyway.
Yeah, just tell them to look out for in the Discord for how to join.
Okay. Look at the markets coming back. Crypto's not bad yet. Oh, there we go. We're on the other side of VWAP. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get the IB high today. Too good, right? So.
Oh, hang on. Okay.
What happened?
Hang on. Because I set a video unlisted on mine, it's currently.
I see it.
I just changed it, so it may not publish correctly, but it'll be all right.
Wait a second.
I changed it, so we're good now.
Oh, it's public. Okay, good.
Yeah, I had to change it, so it probably won't alert, but people will see us and they'll come slowly. But it's because my macro focused one.
Yeah, I remember. I forgot to look at that. I just didn't see it. That's all right. We'll get them in, and most watch it after the fact anyway. Look at the markets come screaming back, boy. Well, obviously, that was low enough. Crude since the low has moved $4 today. That is the volatility here is. I have never ever seen anything like it. It's so extreme. It's extreme down, extreme up. It's just unlike anything I've seen. And I can't remember.
All right, there we go. We got 25.
Oh shit, we got 25 already here. I'm looking at the other markets. All right, so hey guys. All right, we got Eddie Jameson. Mineable, bottom in. Yeah, that's a question. Mineable, isn't it? All right, you guys all know the drill here, right? Members give us the charts. We review them, look for ideas, setups, a little commentary. It's a way for us to kind of view how they're, progressing with the material we're teaching. And most of these guys, a lot of these guys posting today have been with us for a long time, are very skilled. So this is a great way to look for ideas that you might not have seen. So many things to look at here. And since we're combining assets, I'm looking down the list here. It looks like it's primarily all crypto today. Interesting. So, all right. With that said, let's get rid of our little disclaimer because that gets a little old. Okay. So first up, I've got James M, who is our optimist on the day. Let's see here. What is this little comment here? Top left. He thinks we've bottomed. Okay, so let's just review his chart here because I had to just pull back a little bit to see it. So he's making a few points here, which are really pretty interesting, right? He's acknowledging some pattern that potentially is repetition. So the first thing we have here, what is this thing called? The Bitcoin log growth curve, right? So we are coming down to we're getting to the lower edge here, but we're bumping into a couple of things here. I'm assuming you guys can see this here. So this white line here is the 200 week. Right, so we're just shy of that. We are on the edge here. Well, this is the, what is that, sure? Yeah, it's the edge, the lower parallel. Then there's this pattern here, additionally, that he's noted where, let me get rid of this, where we have the death cross, and then following the death cross, so we cross, and then as we come down to the lower edge of the growth curve, here's the last cross. Oh, do we go back here? So here's the last cross. Then we come
James mentioned your mic is a little quiet, so maybe pull it closer to your mouth again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's weird. I've got the thing all the way up. Okay, there we go. Audio is quiet. Is that better, James? Okay, so so here we get here's our death cross, comes down, creates the bottom, and then we get the rip. Here's our last death cross, comes down to the lower edges here of the growth curve. Here's the COVID, where we got through the 200 weekly. We actually poked through back. Well, that's as far back as we can get it. So coming down here to come into this range, if not the bottom, there's a reasonable case to be made that we're close to the bottom. Now, of course, James was the first one, and I think it was based off of this chart, who put 23K in my ear. And I started working through the TA and saw the same thing. So it might be, while this is, I mean, certainly this would be a chart to have. You'll note here that we're catching the downsloping parallel here as well. So there's a lot of confluence here, technical confluence. Well, here's the pivot, right? The 2017 pivot. So you got a lot of confluence in this same pocket. Now, maybe easier to well, let's see. Let's look at it. Couple of this. Oh, this is the chart I've been using here. So you'll note here in log scale. Now, emphasis log scale, right? So this first swing, whether it's an A, a 1, or 2, remains to be seen. From the retrace here, here's the 100. We just got it to the tick. Right, as we are wobbling around the median line here, so notice median line, we're in that little range here where I had suggested this is an area to be considering some accumulation, right? If you have the capital and if you're comfortable parking some capital here, because it's a question mark is how long are you parking it here? So even if this count is to be realized, and again, whether it ends up being a 2 or a 4. It almost doesn't matter if you're a bull. The only way it matters is what you're forecasting for the next swing. If it's a 2, right? I mean, I think we went through this last week here a little bit. If it's coming down for a 2, well, we need an impulse to lead, or a 5 to lead us out of it. If it's a 4, same difference. Now you'll note here we've hit the 100 here. We're just coming up on the 38, just above the 17 high. As we come into this little pocket. It's just tempting to look at it like this. So virtually everything you hear in the media is negative, negative, negative. So again, just trying to think strategically through how market respondents or how the market participants will respond here. You got to figure retail is completely shitting the bed. They're just freaked out right now. Longer term hodlers, whether they care or whether they're accumulating, right? This is a test of your conviction for, right? Are you a believer in the proposition of what Bitcoin is proposing to offer to traditional finance, right? Is this legitimately the solution to money printing? Well, if it is, then this is all just part of creating an opportunity to accumulate. If it's not, and it's just another tech stock, it'd be hard to be bullish. So, it's a bit of a gut check as to whether or not you see the potential here or not, right? Now, if you don't care, right, and you're just trading swing to swing, and I'm not saying that this is what I think. I think whether it's a 2 or 4, whether it's 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, this 70 is going to be quaint. Wasn't that quaint when we were back at 70? That's my view, my personal view, and it really almost has nothing to do with the chart, right? It's just my view is that Bitcoin is just the evolution of money, right? Now, how long it takes to get here, well, that's where the TA comes into play. But this is a real gut check to whether or not you're a believer of the hypothesis, right, if you will. The technical sure suggests that we are in an area of interest. How about we say it that way? Now, whether or not you want to be a buyer, let's see. I come over here. I think I've got it here. So as we've just tagged the median line again over here. So is that it? Is that the 5? Could be, right? There's no reason to think it couldn't be. Guess we'd slide this over here. Always the possibility here that there's a little reaction and we come down one more time, right? So we get a cleaner 5. You don't have a really clean 5 here. This is open to interpretation because you've got a triangle there, but you can't have a triangle in the 2. So is it A, B, C, or is this the 2 and we go 1, 2? I mean, there's a couple of different ways you could look at that. Here's what I'm trying to. This looks like a clean 5. Is this the 2? right? It's very, very hard to know until we get more information below. Is it A, B, C into a truncated C, or is this the 2 and this is the second 2? How to know, right? Well, there's no way to know, right, until we see what we get down here. If this was 1, 2, you could put a 3, 4 here and have an extension in the 5th, but then this might be necessary. If it's 1, 2, and this is 1, 2, you're going to need it for the 3, 4 of the internal impulse in the 3. Okay, so just reviewing. So we've got James' work here coming down to the edge of the median line at the lower edge of the growth curve. You've got the 200-week just below, right? Kind of suggesting here there's a pattern here that's prone to repeating. We can see this here as we've tagged the median line, tagged the 100. We've got this here as we've tagged the median line, and we're, potentially, let's see, what have I got, a 4 hour there? Is that enough to say, oh, there's a low end? Well, certainly not, right? We'd need to see something, right? If I got something like this, oh, hey, hit a supply zone, right? Something along these lines. Now that's what we're waiting for. And all we'd be doing is getting back to 27K, right? And I'm just kind of free drawing something there. But that's right? Until we see that, you have 2 choices. Either you're going to be aggressive and you're going to take it on the 2 or the 4, or you're going to wait for this first. Right now here I'm on a 30-minute. You're going to wait for this to complete, and you're just going to trust that the temptation to take profit will be too large, and you're going to be a buyer here. Now you're a buyer at 24, 23, right? Looking for that. Right? It's not that complicated, really, in terms of, okay, well, if we're looking for a bottom, well, first question is, do we get a bottom, right? Or do we just keep free falling, right? If the Fed's going to do 75, which is now, right, that's the talking heads in the background, they're probably going to have to do 75. If we do 75, does this all just shift lower, right? Is Bitcoin just going to move with how the Fed responds, right? How the market responds, how the NASDAQ responds, interest rates? Or is there something else going on here? Are we eventually going to see Bitcoin take its role as the solution to money printing? Well, that remains to be seen. So all in all, you're certainly at areas of interest. So light accumulation is what I would suggest, but only if you're comfortable parking that money there. It's not money you're going to need, right? You'd want to have a 3 to 5 year term. In your mind's eye of how long you could possibly be parking it there. That's my view. If it's not money you need, I can't. Where else are you going to put it? Real estate is starting to look quite overheated. The market, bonds. Where else are you going to put it? Your bank, maybe. All right. So let's see. What else do we have? Oh, okay. I got one more from James over here on this one. Let me come back here so I can give you all of his. So this is top chart daily, top chart weekly, monthly. This is weekly. So this must, maybe he wants this. What do you want here, James? Top chart. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a different link. I got it. So let me come over here. Top chart is the daily. So I got a Phoenix versus Coinbase. Oh, so I got Bitcoin, Ethereum. I got to do a copy here. All right, I like these getting bullish. All right, so let's focus. I think the focus here is on Bitcoin. Okay, so he's, I think, probably noting a couple of things that I spotted. Here's we got the 618 we just tagged here. Now, where are you pulling that from? You're pulling this from, oh, pardon me, I see it. So he's going 1, 2, and we're coming, why are you doing that? We're going here. Oh, there's your 100. I got it. Okay, so where are you getting this 618 from? Oh, that's the second target. I got it. Okay, so we've got confluence here now that I can see where he's pulling. Okay, so here's the swing. This is a 50% retracement. We've just nailed second target here, right? The negative 618 as we hit the 100%, right? So do you see the confluence here? That's pretty remarkable. If I take the length of this swing, project from here, I've got an exact 100% to the tick. If I take the swing here, retrace 50, I've got a negative 618. As we note the geometry, right? As we're hitting that downsloping angle of that channel from the high, right? So really connecting here, and just looking at the range expansion of the channel. So a lot of confluence here, right? So this is I mean, he's been talking about 23. He's whispered that in my ear, I think, 2 months ago. Watch 23, and here we sit. It's good work, James. All right, so now you combine that in addition to what we're looking at over here with the growth curve and the 200 weekly. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to be at least paying attention here. Now, you don't want to buy blindly unless you have a plan, right? So if you have a plan here, say, okay, I'm going to dollar cost average in this range. And within that, I'm going to divide this in half or thirds or quarter, whatever you're comfortable with. And I'm just, if it keeps coming down, of course, the assumption you could very well, this could be 1, 2, we've got the 3, and we're going to get the 4, and we're going to come down for the 5. Okay, well, you just dollar cost average on the down. So you're going to end up with a price point somewhere probably in the middle of this, right? Depending, right? You'd want to have a limit to where, okay, I don't just keep buying all the way. I have a range. Can you park, right? I would avoid leverage myself, right? Why? There's no reason. Don't put yourself in a position where you could get squeezed out of it, right? The whole point is to be accumulating in this range. Bring them over. Certainly could go down, could keep going. Nothing says it has to stop here just because it's hit all these magic numbers. It's just that there's a tendency for the market to respond there. Now, is this the response, the setup to the 4 before we come down for the 5? Certainly could be. So have a plan here. Don't just react emotionally like, oh my God, it's on sale, right? There could be another sale coming. Have a plan, right? So my suggestion, take that range and, if you're comfortable, so maybe you buy the least amount here. Right. So that's the trade-off. If you're going to buy the least amount here and it starts to go, now what are you going to do? You're going to FOMO in, and now you're averaging up your price. Right? Think about that. So think through how you're going to react. If it starts going up, oh shit, I should have bought more there. Right now it comes down here. Oh shit. Right. So you got to be thinking through what am I comfortable with here? And if it starts to go off on you, if it starts to run away, you don't want to chase it. Now you're going to have to wait for this to finish. You bought some here. Now you're coming back down for this. Now you buy again, right? Because now you've got pattern to support it rather than, oh shit, I'm missing it. I better jump in. Now you just averaged up your price. All right, that's good stuff, James. Thanks for those. I get at least like one more. Bottom left alt view if the wave 3 was the high. Okay, let me get one more here from James, and then we'll move on because we got quite a few, which was spread through quite a good number of alts. Okay, so bottom left, I gotta make a copy of that. Bottom left is the wave 3 view. This is wave 3 view. Okay, let's see if this is. So where are we here? Okay, so here's COVID low 3. Okay, so we're going to do this. Oh, interesting, right? So we're going to go. This is a variation. So, and this is very valid. I mean, you can see that how this count completes. So it's 1, 2, 3 rather than. So this is an interesting alternate. So I've been looking at it, and many as well, saying 3, 4. Well, he's saying 3, 4, 5 of the internal. Well, it's a perfectly valid count. So it's actually, I'm drawing it incorrectly here. It would be this. Right? Different than the way I'm seeing it, but it's perfectly valid. Well, then what are we measuring? Right, same thing. Right, we're measuring the completion here. Now it's going to be slightly different because the other count is pulling it from here. We're pulling it from here, the pivot. It's a good alternate, very good alternate to have. I've got a couple, right? So if we're coming into the 4 here, if that's got one more little push down, that would get you to the 38. I mean, it's actually I would have this alternate, right? So right there to finish it puts us at, that's 23 again. So this Brave New Coin is going to lag, right? This won't update fully until tomorrow. So would we get a low of something like that? So I think so we've already broken the 38. Getting a little wiggle around that. You see over here, you see the fair value gap between this pivot high and this low, right? So if I drag that over, if there's one more push down, that would be an area that you might expect the market to get a response. So you might get your 4 down here just below the 38. Oh, and this, somehow you're going to dig this. Oh, wait, maybe we don't have to complicate it, right? We could just keep it. God damn it, come here. Keep it simple. That may be the most simple count of all, right? It may be the one that I get a lot of pushback from just Elliottians in general, whether it's members or subs, right? Saying nope, it's too long for the 4. Okay, right. Well, I remind you, right? It's pretty good geometry over here. But if we're doing this, if it's 4, 5 here, you're kind of solving both issues, right? So now it's just a question of if it's a 4, we are not anticipating anything deeper. Well, obviously, right? We'd be watching that 1. You're not anticipating anything that deep. So if we're not going to hold the 38 and we're going to come into this range between 38 and the 50, there's not a lot of support other than this fair value gap here. Oh, I suppose you could talk yourself into a order block just below. So it might happen, right? We could go, what do we got down here? 16, 17, right? So we're coming back to that high. Let's put a pivot on that. Split that difference. Well, there's your another scenario here. If we're coming down here, if you start dollar cost averaging in this range, well, you got another buy here, and you perhaps got another buy here. And now I would not keep buying, right? I would just say, okay, well, let's see what happens, because we're coming down here. Well, then we know it's more likely a wave 2. Same result. You're still looking for the 5 to come off of there. So I don't think it's a time to despair, right? I mean, certainly it's painful to see the value of your portfolio declining. I mean, I feel it too, right? Mine's going down just like yours is. But I'm not really, well, it's money I don't need, so I'm not worried about it. If anything, all I'm looking at is here, where's the next opportunity to be a buyer? Now, my circumstance may not be the same as everyone else's, right? So if it's money you need, you got to respond accordingly. But the thing that happens is nobody who is a long-term holder is going to sell down here. You wouldn't sell towards the lows, right? In fact, that's what's going on in your head. Well, I'm not going to sell it now, not at the lows. But understand that creates the possibility for more lows, right? Because you don't have any buyers, right? So if they're just not going to sell, but they're not going to buy, right? We got an absence of buyers. At some point, right? Some whales are going to step in here. So choose wisely. Okay, what do we got here? ETH, bottom left. Okay, so let's get the big dogs out of the way. All right, James, what are you thinking on ETH before we go to alts? ETH, 2 counts. Oh shit, bottom left here. So I got this one. Oh fuck, God, I forget to do that. Just my copy. Hang on. It's a Monday. All right, we'll get rolling here. Come on. Okay, so here's the ETH count. All right. Okay, so we got. So where are we? All right, so I'm going to assume. Let's see. I got to pull back here. That we're heading towards a finish. You gave it to me out of log. Interesting, out of log. So we're okay. We got the range here. James, did you want this out of log? I think you did. I think you did want this out of log. Okay, so we can look out of log. So then looking at this, well, we got to. Did you want it in log? Are you on, man? Did you want it out of log? Because if we're out of log, there's no question we're in a second. Right, if I take this to the daily, right, no question about it. Where are you, man? Are you on there? Maybe he is at his work office. I know while he's this time of day. All right, so we'll just go with it here. So let me come out of that. Well, so just to draw, I know it's a little hard to see. So it would be 1, 2, 3, triangle 4. We're down for the 5, right? So you'd have a nice looking. The structure would be good here. You can get that out of there. That's the right look, right wave relationship. Interesting in the 4. Getting a little reaction there in the 5. Okay, but so note here, this is a 3. So the premise is that's the internal. So. Oh, pardon me. I do that incorrectly. So we've got 1, 2. Here it is. Pardon me. All right, so here's the 1. Oh, fuck, where's your 2? Here's the 2. All right, so now we're going to go 3, 4, coming down for the 5. Okay, so that's got a bigger rip in the third. Still the right look. Small here, extension in the third. If we're doing that, now I'm going to guess his alternate is as I just drew it. Okay, hang on. 2 counts, different colors. Not sure which one is for the second half of the fall from the all-time high. Oh, fuck, he's giving me 3 here. Okay, so let me go over to the second one here. Oh, shit, I can't tell, James. What do we want here?
You said there's 2 counts,
on
the
that
white
one,
and the blue.
Oh,
yeah.
2 counts on the same chart. Okay, so
yeah.
I got it. Okay, so it would be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so actually, so I did actually draw it right the first time, right? So he's giving us 2. The one you've got here to the right, or we're getting a kind of an oddball 2 there. How are we getting there? A, B, C, W. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Interesting. So do you see how he's doing this? This is pretty creative. Okay, so we've got the 1 gets us down here. Now we're going to go A, B, C into a W. W. How are you getting that X there? So you're going to go, we're going X here. It'll be X, Y. So how are we getting the X? A. Fuck, how are you doing it? A, B, C? Where can I get a 5? I guess I can get a 5 here. How are you getting that here? How are we getting an X in there? So this has to be the C. So it has to be A, B, C. Are you going with a truncated C here with some sort of a flat? Hard to call that. Well, this one is a bit more of a stretch, I would think. I like the 2. I think I like the ABC here better than this. Looks more like the 1, right? It's very much like Bitcoin, that leading diag. I'm not sure I mean, it's very creative. I don't see a clear 3 in there, James. You don't have it labeled A. Shit, unless you're doing a fuck, you can't do it. How are you doing it? Why are you thinking this could be an X? Unless you're going, you would have to finish the C here, so it'd have to be A or A here, B, C. Oh, sure, that one could be a stretch. I like the creativity there, but I'm not sure I see that as corrective. All right, so I think either way, this is clearly as a 4, right? That's hard to miss that as a 4. Now the question is, right, it's much like Bitcoin. Same question: do we go up? Do we have one more to come down? Major lows like this would be surprising if it is a low, doesn't get some sort of a test, right? Some demonstration that they can't get to new lows. We get a higher low. Maybe you get that. Now there's the 4 leading for a 5 to come down further. You can't rule that out. There's no way to rule it out. If this is the 4 here, whether it's blue or white here, that sure looks like a 4. 3, 4, 5. You could be done here. But to just that's not a capitulation type of. What do we got below here? Well, the RSI did get pretty hot. Well, how do you know? You're not going to know. So I mean, this is a logical place where you could expect some resistance, right? We just see the market paused here, so it's impulse, consolidate, impulse, consolidate. So we got to come back here and check that. Does a bunch of supply come in? So you'd have an order block here. Obviously, you'd have a little demand zone right there. Okay, so if we come back to that, that would be an opportunity to consider selling. Right? Consider the selling here. This came out of here. So if we came from balance to imbalance, now are there unfilled orders there that need to take down? Very reasonable. So this would be the real test, right? If we get through that, okay, now things are starting to look a little bit more interesting. Now when we come back down, because we will, if we test from above, does demand show up now, right? A failed order block, often called a breaker block in SMC nomenclature, right? Failed order block becomes a breaker block. Do we come down here and we hold here? This is where we're going to start to get some clues. Do we just blow back right through, or can we hold here and get a higher low? Right now, there's no evidence other than the technical confluence at this price point. So we have technical support, but we don't have demand. Right, big difference between the two. Technical support is not demand. Now maybe we could get demand in here, but we're going to have to rally out of here first. All right, so you get, all right, so this, if we were, God damn it, come here. If we were to rally out of here, okay, now I'm leaving behind potentially demand. Now, is it an ABC of a 4? Right, well, now you're trying to look at the geometry. Okay, that's a pretty long 4, kind of a short 5 relative to the length of the 3. Does it need to have one more in it? Hard to say, right? So there's no reason to take any dramatic action here, right? I mean, if you didn't sell it, you're too late to sell it. Well, I would suggest too late to sell, too soon to buy. All right, so let someone else, grab the machete and clear a path through the jungle. Just be patient. Just because it got oversold and we got to pivot doesn't mean you plow back in, right? Wait for evidence. You need something strategic. So again, if we come out of here, we're going to come back. Is it demand? It's as simple as that. Is it or not, right? We're down for the 5. All right. So a lot of hurry up and wait in some of the majors. Let's see. Oh, the GRT. Let's see what the graph is doing. All right. I'm still in here, James. Well, this is one I'm just in it because he liked it. All right. So let's go over here. So the graph, top left. How are we looking? All right, this looks interesting. So I got a 3-day on the graph. So I can go WXY. Can I get that done? Not yet. So I got another target down there. All right, so 1, 2, we got a 50. What do we get here? We get a 50? No, that's a 38. We're out of log. Do I need to be out of log? Well, he's looking at it in log. Let's keep it there. So it looks like that's I'm getting an APP, right? So here's, well, let's see, hang on a second. We're getting it here. There, we're getting it. So here's 1/3, Jesus, 4th target there. So we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's pretty hard. It's hard to miss that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Jesus, get off of there. Right look. So, and a good example there. That's technical support, not necessarily demand. All right, do you see the difference between the two? You could put a line there and say, oh, it wicked the support. Is it support? Is it just because there was a price traded there? If I have to choose between support and resistance and supply and demand, I'm always taking supply and demand. Right, that's an easy choice. My guess is this is an APP here, so he's pulling it this way. 1, 2. All right, so coming. Well, kind of the same thing. Right? So that's a 3-day. Let's go to an 8-hour here. See if that's anything we could really work with. Sure looks like we can. Oh, what are you thinking there on that 4? A, B, W, X, Y. Wait a second. Okay, hang on a second. Why not here? I can get 5 here. There's got to be a reason because he would see the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diag. Is it a diag? Well, I know he sees this, so he must have looked at this and said, no, I don't like it. Here's my... Oh, no, pardon me. Here's my... Where the fuck's my 1? Here we go. Oh, shit. Come here. Okay, so I got overlap here. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1... That's got to be Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fuck. Yeah, it looks more impulsive, right? So, okay, so he's going to go A, B, C. I gotcha. Okay. So I knew there was a reason. Because it's too obvious that he would miss that. So can't quite get a 1 out of that. A, B, C. So you'd have to go W, X. Which would be my guess as to what he's thinking. So W, X. Well, What are you thinking, James? It's a triangle. So you're doing it as a triangle? A, B, C, D. Okay, I got you. All right, I can see it. I got you. I thought, so let's label it up. So we'd have to go it this way. A, B, C, D, or just a little baby E. Not uncommon. So this comes over here, and we get a little, not much of an E. Underthrow, overthrow, that's where you look for it, and we break here, down we go. So I think that's right. When I take a look at it, that makes sense. Here we come down here. What did we just finish? 3, 5, 4. Is there enough there to make a call on that? 1, 2, 3, that's the 4, down for the 5. Well, it's been, along with the alts. Okay, if this turns into something impulsive, that's great. But I would wait myself, right? I wouldn't try and chase this. I'd wait. Okay, I got a contender down here at the 1618. You got a contender here for that to finish, but if I wouldn't go near it until I had a completed 5 here. Diag's fine. Right now here, right, because you could do it with that as your stop, because how are we going to know, right? It's got to be a low they can't get. That's how you're going to know. Okay, now is it an ABC or 1, 2, 3? How do we know? Well, context, right? How far does it go? Do we get a 3? Do we get a 1618? Are we breaking some of that structure? You're not going to know until we see it. But again, there's been so many false breaks in the graph that I'd want to see that a good clear 5, not a could be a 5, I'm not sure, a good clear 5. I'd wait for the retrace, look for the 3. All right, so we got that one, and then I got one. Well, let's see how we're doing on time. All right, so let's do Link. We haven't looked at that for a minute. Let's do Link, and then I'll keep moving. James always just gives me lots of content to make sure we get enough for the live stream, so I always appreciate that he does that. Let me save that here, and we'll go to the Link, and then I'll move down to. Looks like we got 5 or 6 others. We started on time. We might actually finish on time. Okay, so Link, we got bottom left, blue versus white. Okay, bottom left. Okay, let's pull back here. I got an 8-hour. Okay, it looks like a good, shit, come here, daily. Okay, looks like we got a good solid impulse. 1, 2, 3, it's a little funky, right? How else are you gonna deal with it, right? So here's the impulse, here's the impulse. Here's an impulse. You're just making do with what's here. Okay, where can I find clear 5s? Clear 5. It's a little choppy, but a clear 5. They have to be, every impulse has to be accounted for, so how can we make sense of it? The only, it's too bad here, you might have been able to do it here, but this is the kind of the weakest leg of it, is the 4 here, but you're kind of forced into it because of the 5 that comes off. So ABC down here, I am in log. Right to the 38, 1, 2, 3, 4, double bottom. Well, it's, okay, so here's another example, right? This would be technical support. Right, prior resistance becomes support, not as appealing as demand. It's not a demand. Oh, fuck, come here. What the hell? There we go. Okay. Well, you could probably talk yourself into a really fat. No, let's go an hourly. It looks like it would have already broken. Okay, on the hourly, you'd have an order block right here. But we've had a close below. So this would become a breaker block. So we're on the hourly, we can't hold that. So once again, it's not demand. Now it might turn into demand. It's just support. So here's the breaker structure here. Oh, fuck, come here. Pardon me, change of character right here. So you'd have this as your order block. or your demand zone. Note the imbalance as we come out here so you can see the imbalance there. Do you guys know what I mean when I say that? I'm assuming you do, right? Between this high and this low, there's a little imbalance there. Now, this is not finished yet. You'd be hard pressed to call that a 1-2. Jesus, even on a 15. That's a chop monster. 3-3. You know, careful down here. You want to look for where's the lowest close, or here's the lowest close right here. 1, 2. I wouldn't even. I'd start the count here, right? If we're gonna roll, I'd start it right there. Pretty. Maybe that's a. Jesus, can I really actually do that? 1, 2. It's not much of a 2. So this looks like 3, 4, 5. I'd pay attention to that. If we do come back down here, okay, this is just what you're looking for. All right, right. This would be an aggressive trade. If I can do it in a 3, come down to the halfway point of that potential. It's always just that potential demand. We can see the imbalance, drove it up. We come back to either unfilled orders, right? Buyers looking to get on board, maybe. It's not the prettiest impulse. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. The internal is not great. Right now I'm down on a 5-minute. Where I don't like to do analysis because it's so suspect. So this is a little bit of hurry up and wait. So where's the upside? So you're pretty much in a range there until that starts to settle. Well, pardon me, you wouldn't call this a range. I mean, this is the technical range, but it's not. This is the week low. The anticipation would be that this breaks. Right, because it's just one break of structure all the way down. Right, here's the first major one. Break, swing higher, swing lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high. No signs of any bottom here. You just got potential here. But it was potential here. Right, this was potential. Right here, blew right through it. It's always just potential demand. Right, potential. You got to. I mean, you got to take the risk. There is no. Oh well, it's here. Well, I can buy it. Clearly, I can buy it. No, you got to see the reaction there because it could just easily do this. Now it becomes potentially breaker block, right? Come back to it. So you got to be patient here. I mean, all of this requires patience. FOMO is it's not. It's more fear without the OMO, right? It's just fear is what you're working against here. Oh my God, it's dropping. So that creates irrational decision making. So the best thing to do when it gets like this is go way out longer time frame, right? So you get some perspective on it. Okay, what are we really doing? You get down on the shorter stuff, it's going to be a chop monster. But even if, so you said, no, I like to trade the 60-minute. Okay, is there anything you see here that would make you want to be a buyer? Anything that would be sound TA? Nothing. At least you got to get a higher low. That's a triple bottom. That's just wick structure. I mean, a low where's the, okay, right? So we've been through this 100 times, right? So where's the liquidity? Right, at just below the low, right? So what market is forever and always looking to do? What's the purpose of the market, right? For business to transact. Where's the liquidity? Where can the market do the most business? Right down here, where all the liquidity is, right? So you're looking for that moment where everybody on the planet knows, oh, if I can get those lows, I can go grab those stops. If they can't do it, that's what creates the 2, the B, the right. That's so at least a higher low before I even think about being a buyer down here. I mean, this is what draws your attention to it, but now you got to prove it. All right, let me keep moving here. Thanks, James, for all the content. I appreciate it. Always do. All right, Sage 32. He's my new superstar in here. I really like his work. And he came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, I got Sage 32 in here. He's posting up some really solid content. All right, Kava, what are we doing here? All right, so let's do the copy here. All right, hard to argue with that. It's a 5 all day, right? So a contracting diagonal. Note how each pivot, right? The RSI came up, and you could have traded off of that. So when the market is doing something like that, this can be really useful. And but look how good this is. Well, we got a little bit. Well, you have your extension in the 1, right? And then look in the Elliott oscillator. We don't get as high here because the extension's in the 1, right? But each one of these peaks gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So it fits with the diag, right? The RSI and the Elliott oscillator both play nicely with the diag there. This is their daily on Kava. Is this, are they on Binance? Yeah, I guess they are. Okay, so we got that. So coming down, here's the 4th through. Where are we down here? Can't see. Okay, so I'm going to slide this bad boy off just a little bit so I can see it. I'm going to tone you down a hair. Okay, all right, so we're coming in a very sharp set of median. Is that a median line or a channel? I can't even see it. Okay, so let's go to the 4 here. Okay, 1, 2. All right. We'll hover around the median line. Did we get to that center? We didn't. It doesn't look like we quite got there. So he knows to go to a shift when we're targeting a correction here. Are we modified? Yeah, this is modified, right? So we got a channel. We're down and over, right? So we got a modified coming in. So you've got technical confluence down here. So note we've got the upsloping. What's that? A center line? Or is it just a, oh no, that's just your draw. All right, I thought that was an upsloping channel. That's just his pull from the pivot high. But interesting, it kind of works like a channel. Coming into a golden zone. So all we're trying to do is get a turn down here that makes sense. So let's go back to the 8. So this, he's going to, yeah, I'm sure that's what he's doing, right? So if I pull it over here. Shit, no, I can't see it. So where the hell are we? 3, okay. So we're working the count. So here's the play. 1, 2, we're working on the internal, right? We're trying to get that 3 to complete, looking for 4 to kick it back and then back down for the 5. Now I'm just free drawing here, right? And he would, I'm sure, adjust his median lines here. If so this is where we're headed, right? So likely you can anticipate a reaction here if we get here. Oh, you might do something. It's probably a bit. You know, sometimes, right? I mean, you can even do them like that because it's all the down, right? So you get a little bit. That really would be it. Last down here that created a break of structure. What'd we get? I guess you could use that. You could use that. You could use this as, do we get a close? So you may just have change of character there. Yep, oh, here's a close, right? So it is a break of structure. So as we come back down here, that's a big ass order block. You don't really want one that big. All right, let's tighten that up. Oh, what do we got here? Where are you? Still pretty fat. Is that it? That's it. And look where we are, getting a reaction. Funny how that happens. So this could very well be our 3 kicking into the 4, but it's all part of the internal impulse that we need to get because we're looking to complete this 3. So I think that's right on. Oh, and then we'll add a little fib in here if we've got a low here. If that's our 5, we might look for our 4 somewhere in this pocket. You got, see the imbalance in there? Right, is the market, so here you can see it really clearly, right? Imbalance from this low to this high. So this is, the market is prone to come back here and fill that in, or if there's unfilled orders, so if we're doing A, B, we come into this, right? Because it moves so, that's the theory, right? The thesis is that we move so fast, there's going to be unfilled orders in here. Look, I mean, you could, right in your face, right? Can't you anticipate that there might be unfilled orders in there? Down for the 5, all right, 3 into the 4. Down into his buy zone here, so boom. Boy, that's good work. And now the channels start, or the median lines start to make more sense when you open it up here. So if this is 3, 4, I might take that up a degree or 2. Let's go micro, let's brighten that fucker up a little bit. Okay, so 3, 4, down for a 5, something in this range. Gets that 3, let's go up a degree on that one. Looking for the 4. Right, same thing, right? Just gives us some, it gives us an approach as opposed to, fuck, I don't know, it's been down, I guess I sell it. Right, I get some context here. Well, can I apply Elliott here and not just be winging it? Is that a clear impulse? Sure looks like it. Reacting at a demand zone? Okay, that makes sense. Is that a 1-2? Well, let's test the geometry. Okay, that makes sense. Where are we coming? You know, where did we? So let's do it this way. Impulse, consolidation. Right. Look at all the volume here. Consolidation, impulse. Consolidation, and what you would anticipate next, impulse. You know, it's not that hard to kind of look at it and say, okay, I can kind of see what happened here. It's a little too green for me. All right, all this consolidation, boom, boom, boom. Right, it's not okay. Wow, look at all the business that was done here. What happens? Impulse. We come out of there. I mean, this is a good example of something that I often will kind of scold people on, as in, you don't want to be a buyer here, you don't want to be a seller here, you don't want to be a buyer here, you don't want to be oh, wait a second, right? That would have worked out, right? So if you're a seller here, but you're still, in hindsight, it's always easy. Well, you see, you look at it, and what your mind does is you look at it and you go, well, yeah, of course I would have sold it there. Would you? I would not have. If I'm looking to sell it, so I'm never saying that it's not going to break. What I'm saying is that this is a high risk to enter the market because you're vulnerable to what happened to these guys who thought the same thing here, and these guys who thought the same thing here, and these guys who thought it was breaking up. It's just not where you want to enter. So if you want to get short, you got to get short as close to the top of the range as you can, not the bottom of the range. You want to be here. Oh, 1, 2. Okay, I think it's going to go down. All right, how about selling at the 50? Not here, even though here, right, there's always going to be an example where it works, so the market would forever go sideways. So there will always be a chart you can put in front of me and say, but hey, Sam, look, it worked perfectly here. Yes, always. There will always be that point in the chart, always. How do you tell the difference, right? How would you have known here and not here? How would you have known this is the one that was going to do it? You don't. So if you want to get short, try and sell at least above the halfway point. Where's the halfway point? The POC. Okay, so if I was looking to short this, the criteria would be, okay, at least I'm going to sell above the POC because I'm anticipating that to go down. What I'm not going to do is sell it right here. That's the dumbest place to sell it, although it worked in this time. Okay. All right. Say that's good stuff there. Very, very good. Well thought out. Nicely detailed. Okay, so I got another one from him. SNX. Let's take a look there. SNX. Let's give that a look. All right. SNX. Let's go over one. All right. I can't remember what SNX is about. All right, I like this consistency. He sticks with the same indicators here. These are probably for Elliott Wave analysis, two of the best. I might add something volume related. Well, he's got volume on the chart, right? Maybe an OBV or something along that. So you get so you're getting momentum, an oscillator, right? This is of all indicators, RSI the most widely used. So you want to have it so you know what everybody else is looking at. Elliott oscillator. I mean, you're perfectly good here, right? Like you've got some volume consideration. Of course, he's got volume profile. So is this this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's not hard to spot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he's got an alternate here. Could be A, B. Can we get that to fly? I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I guess we can. All right. So I got W. I'm gonna just brighten that up a little so we can see it a little better. Okay, WX. Now, can I go A here? Oh, that's a little tricky in there. Okay. It's a little abnormal. 1, 2, 3. You're kind of stuck with it, aren't you? Well, I guess there's an alternate in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you're right. I see that. Boy, how do you turn that into a 5? You can't. So, yeah, he's making do with what's here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives us the A. 3 gives us the B. You got to just go with what's here, right? You can kind of see the 3, 4. What amount of daily? Oh, fuck, I can probably get a 5 out of that. I don't know if I can get back to work. Shit, come on. I might have to go 4. That could have been too much. Here we are. Okay, so that's the lower low. So you got to get a 5 out of that. Oh, that's a bitch, right? So you triple topped up here. You know, sometimes you just got to go with the spirit of what's there. So it looks to me you'd have to work this. Well, that looks like that is slightly lower, so you might be able to do that. 3, 4, 5. Almost doesn't matter, right? So let's call this the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down for the 5 here. I can finish it here. That's a bit of a cluster F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some sort of ugly diag. Not much of a 2. You have to fuck. How are you even doing that? WXY, I guess, into the B. 1, 2. All right. That's just he's dealing with what the market is giving him here. So how else are we going to do it? We can't do an impulse here. That's a 3. I can accommodate a 5 here. And a 5 here, but this is it's just a force fit, right? You know you're doing it, right? You can't call that a 5, right? So he's working with what the market's giving him here. So if it's not a 5, I can't put this over here. I can't do that. All right, so I got to go 3. Right, once I'm over here, then now I got to connect them. So if this is 3 and this is A, B, C into the 4, which is very it's not typical. But when this comes, you're forced into it. So you got to finish it here, and then you got to go A, B. Once this starts, well, now you at least know where you are here. Okay, I got it. That's wacky as hell, but I've got it. I mean, well, let me rephrase it, right? You never know if you've got it. I can apply Elliott rules and guidelines here, and I can get something here that's valid. 1, 2, 3. Jesus, that is really unusual. But that's what forces it. This 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like you're heading towards a low down here. Right, so he's giving you a possible entry here. Now that's not for everybody. For more conservative, you could look at this and say, oh, kind of looks like 2, 3s going in. Like there's one more down here. So if you didn't want to be aggressive, now maybe this is something that he's watches closely. It looks to me like there might be one more down there. What am I on, a 4 hour? Let's go to a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you want to call that a triangle, but you can't. So the same thing. You're kind of stuck with what is the market giving me? 1, 2. I see. Best case, I think you can do it that way. Now, when he may have posted this wasn't all done, but. Kind of looks like you're stuck with 1, 2. Can you do it? I don't think you can. All right, you want to call it a triangle, but you can't. So 1, can we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? So 1 WXY, perhaps we'd have to do it that way. A, B, C, W, X, Y. Can I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I think we can. Oops, so. I got to do A, B, C, W, X. God damn it, I want to call that a triangle. I can't do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that has to be the 1. Let's just do it. 1. I can put the 2 here. 4, 5. Then I'd have to go 8, 1, 2. I guess we can do that. I can't get a 5 in there, so that you can't put it here. W, unless I'm truncating this. Boy, that's a shit show is what it is. Here's what I would do. I would call this the 2. I would just kind of do it like this. All right, so here's resistance. Right? Not necessarily supply, but resistance. It's just such a guesstimate as to what that is that it's either here, or here, and this is part of the internal, but there's no clear, I don't know, right? Until I get down here and I can start to track, okay, where did I get the 3? Do I need a 1, 2 here? Well, I'm going to need it either way. If this is, I'm going to need that 1, 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a clear impulse right here. So let's label that. We can get that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like we want to end it somewhere. This is clearly an impulse. That's clearly the correction of it. 1, 2, impulse, correct. But boy, you don't want to be done there. So where do you get your next retrace? You really don't have it. So we got to rethink that. Well, you gave me a tough one here. This is the correction. 1, 2, 1, 2. Fuck, it's getting hard. I'm going to have to spend some more time on this. Unless we're going to make this a bigger degree, which may be what's forcing 1. Oh, here, I don't want to lose you guys here. I may, what I'll do here is spend some time on this because I'm going to have to dig on that. I may come back to this and see if I can get you an alternate here because I feel you guys nodding off, right, if I get stuck on that. So I will circle back to anyone who's watching here. Members, I'll post it in the channel, see if I can come up with a better solution here. And I'll post it for any YouTube subs. I'll add my own comment to the video. It'll be underneath it. Let me spend some time on that so I don't bore you guys to death. Aristotle. Okay, I got Hex here. All right, so I will be back to SNX. Hang on, I got to turn my air up. Sorry, guys, it's only about 106 here today. All right, so let me copy that. Let's see if that was a video. I could edit that out, but I got to live with it. Oh, so we got some bold black here. Hex to the U.S. dollar. What are you thinking, Aristotle? U.S. dollar coin. Okay, I'm with you here. I would start it there. 1, 2, 3, A, B. Oh, that's pretty good. 4 there. Well, so my first thought, just looking at it, is that the wave structure, we're getting too far to the side here, too far to connect the two. So it's not that this couldn't ultimately be it. I would be very interested in finding a different solution. So I would want to complete the impulse here. It's much like Elliott channeling, right? We want to try and complete, if we can, right? If we can, complete the impulse here. So this is the correction of the impulse. Now, can we do it? Oh, probably. So for an alternate, Aristotle, which I'm, you see the reaction here at the golden zone. So I'm not saying you don't have it, but just to give those watching an alternate, I would be likely doing something like this, right? So it may not matter here in terms of what, it's much like Bitcoin, right? It's a 2 or a 4. It doesn't really matter, right? It's just, it only matters in terms of how far you think it's going to go. Oh shit, where's my 5 there? I'd bring this all the way back. Say, well, I guess we can leave that on, although you'd want to pull it now from here. Oh, just out of curiosity. Okay, let me nail that down. Okay, so this might influence your thinking a little bit as well. Oh, let's see. Is that some money stuff? Yeah, it looks like. So where's our high probability zone for the 3? Right, 1618, 175. So that might influence your thinking. Right, 1, 2. I mean, the number of times it does that is absolutely it's astonishing. I mean, I can't make this shit up. 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Looks like a better 2. So we come down here for the 50. So let's get this one off. So this is some money stuff, right? So we've got long-term support and resistance here. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 down for the 5. So are we done here? Well, a little bit. You're kind of making the same. It's not a mistake. I just want you to look for ways that you could solve this. So if I draw it, it really stands out, right? So you're trying to do it this way. Oh, fuck. Right? Does that look right? Again, I'm never saying that it can't be that. It's just, do you want to trade on that? Do you want to put money at risk on that? It might be it, and you get a big winner out of it. But over time, your better trades are gonna come out of something that looks right, not that looks abnormal, right? That looks wrong to me. Again, not that it couldn't be. We blow out of here and we get some huge reaction. I wouldn't put money at risk on it. Because as you've heard me say 1,000 times, we have so many things to choose from. Why take something abnormal? This is great here into the 5. That's solid. Well, okay. So how do we correct? I'd be doing something like this. I'd say that's all not done. All right, let's just put it in yellow here. 1, 2. Or I'd keep this all off of here. So you'd be trying to get it this way, Aristotle. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, maybe 5. Now that's the right look. That's what I'd be after. And the implication here is still that there's more downside to come, which makes me lean into the 2 all the more rather than a 4. Oops. So I'm pretty sure you know what I'm saying, right? You've been around our stuff long enough. Oh, let's see. Do we have any? So this looks like this has gone so far. Could we? You'd have to stick with original recipe. So already, I mean, that's one hell of a sliding parallel to be this far out. That's a biggie. Oh, that's a big. I guess that's 100%. It looks, yeah, that's not bad. Maybe that's not as bad as I thought. Right, so it looks like it's approximately 100% that distance up. So you're not out of bounds there. It's clearly the correction, right? So you can just look at it and say, oh, the impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse, right? But it's good detail in there. Just think about that bigger picture, how they look, and that's why I draw them, because I want to draw everyone that I'm, kind of follows my teaching is draw them yourself, right? That's why I do that all the time. I'm constantly pulling it out and say, does that look right? Does that look right? What do we do here? That looks like that might be a 50. Sure is. Algo is going to algo, right? Impulse 3 into a 50. Impulse. Already got. Well, you're not quite the third target. So all the more. Okay, so all the more. Why, if you're thinking, what wave is that? Okay, well, how could we help at least put some wave structure around it? Well, where's the, just like over here, where's the high probability for that third? Now, does this look like it's done? No, it doesn't. All right, so if we're going to come down a little further, I guess I got to fill that in a little more now. If we're going to come down 3, we're working on 3 here, 4, 5 into the, maybe get the median line here just for a kicker. This would be what I'd be anticipating next, but it doesn't look like we're done, right? So we're just getting, God damn it, we're just getting the 4. We're getting the 3 for the 4. We're not done. This could be, well, now you're really, no question, you're in a 2, right? If that's the road it takes. We don't know that. So I'd put the 1 over here, working on the 2 down here. That's not bullish in Hex. It's definitely not. So you have this down here. Right? It's another example. This would potentially be support, not necessarily demand. Probably tuck yourself into an order block in here. Right there it is. Bring it on back. There's a little. All right, so here's the potential support. Here's the potential demand. Right, difference between the two. So if this is 3, well, you can see that plays out nicely, right? So we get 3, 4, 3, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Completing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you got the right look. You're at support and demand at a technical pivot with the median line. Geometry plays, everything plays. That doesn't mean you just buy it blindly. Wait. All right, now there's the trade. All right, good stuff, guys. Thanks, Aristotle. Oh, I got Sage back for another one. Okay, this is Matic. All right, so Matic to the dollar tether. All right, what are we thinking here? So let's go. It's like a faded battle. That must be a new background. I don't see that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now this looks, well, this looks like Bitcoin. 1, 2, 3. Now, is it a 2 or is it a 4? Well, this is actually, that's interesting. This is almost a replica of James M's count in Bitcoin, with this being the 3, the 4, right? Rather than a WXY, right? So this actually is a little bit cleaner here. It's less ambiguity as to whether or not it's a 3 or a 5. Well, that's good work in here. So 1, 2, right? It's hard to argue with that. 1, 2. There's the impulse with an impulse inside of it. Nice corrective 3, just going sideways. Up for the 5. That's a little. That was all. They all look the same there. Diag finishes it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Let's see how we look coming down. A, B, C, W, A, B, C, D, E, right? That's pretty sexy, right? We get the triangle X, A, oh, look at that, another triangle. So we get A, B coming down for the C. All of that sets up a nice zone down here. Now you've got a range. I might tighten that up just a little bit. So why were you pulling from that? So where does the volume profile just go? Looked better a minute ago. Okay, where's the demand? Well, okay, so let's do it this way. Where's the support? Oh, you might do something like that. All right, there's support. We're already through it. Now, where's the demand? Well, that's the higher close. It's going to be here. Looks like we're already through it. Are we? Are we through it? Maybe not. Coming to it. Let me make sure I got that right. Let me lock that. Boy, all right, so here's we're through support, approaching demand. You could probably do something like that as well. $38. Let's get an APP on there as well. Might as well. If this is the W and that's the X, look at that, 1618 right in the pocket, right in the demand zone. Boom. Okay, so what do we get? We get a whole lot of technical confluence, and then we've got some time, fib time here as well, I'm guessing. Right, so he's taking, what are you doing? Length of 2, length of 4 relative to 2. Looks like that's the 618 of it. That's 100% of it. So, man, do you have a lot of confluence here? Now, at the end of the day, does that matter? Well, the market doesn't care, right? The market, market has no requirement to respond here, but there's a lot of ingredients for a potential response here. So if we're up, okay, well, same thing I've been talking about, right? As I've been damn near every live stream, there's got to be a push that fails to give us a higher high, right? We got to have one that they don't, because right now, every time it rolls over, I get new lows every time, right? From here, boom, 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 every time. There's no signs of anything to lean into as a bull, other than, okay, this might be an area to accumulate, much like Bitcoin, right? We're coming down here. If you're a long-term bull and you can park some capital here, you're buying it at 22 cents, right? So this is not like you're buying Bitcoin at 23,000. You're buying it 23, right? So you could, you park some capital here. Zero reason to go with leverage here. None. Why? Why would you go at leverage on 23 cents, 22 cents? Dumb. Right? Why put yourself in a position where you can get squeezed out of it? Just accumulate. But be prepared to leave it there. It can't be money you're going to need. Be my suggestion. That's very good work. Very good work, Sage. Okay, looking good. Oh, Frade, what are we up to here? Frade, he's a regular contributor. Always posts good quality work. Thanks for all of these guys. Hopefully you guys watching get some ideas here. All right, so we're going with Solana on the left side. So I got to do a copy. Looks like I got just spotting that we need Bitcoin anarchist is low. Yes, we'll fix after. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I will come back to that one. SNX is the one I'm going to come back to. Okay, so here, Sol USD on the left side. Okay, so what are we thinking? Solana. Solana is getting beaten up along with Ethereum. Whole NFT space is, I don't know. I don't think it's ripe yet. NFTs are ripe. You're gonna have to give me something more than a picture of a monkey before I'm investing any capital there. Right? Not to make light of it. I know it's part of the evolution of the ecosystem, but I'm not ready for it yet. Okay, so hard to argue with the impulse. There's an alt count that's more bearish in the OT. In the OT? What's the OT? In the OT? 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 I don't know what the OT is.
Object tree.
Oh, object tree. Okay, so there's the okay, so let's do them one at a time. All right, so it looks like he's going W, X, Y, X, Z. Got a target down here at 18. Okay, looks like he's just doing what every Elliottian strives to do. Where are the 5s? Where are the 3s? Right? So that's the foundation. Then we start to string them together. Okay, is that a 5? Sure looks like it. Can I make that a 5 without a force fit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it's kind of ugly. The shape is not great, but for a diag, okay. All right, let's see. Did you get the good diag? Did you get 5 longer than 3? Looks like maybe not. No, you didn't, right? So you don't have, market's not going to give you perfect Elliott all the time. You got to just accept that. Oh, it does create an alternate here. You could probably go W, X, Y, X. It almost doesn't matter up here, right? Does it matter up here? Really? I don't know that it does. Right, we're correct now. So, okay, what matters here? We've got a rip-roaring, raging impulse that took us, from massive impulse. Okay, we're correcting it. So I'm not opposed to say, can I simplify this fucking thing? Right? Is this just a big 3? Right? That's really all we're trying to do. I mean, yes, it's a good skill for a student, right? Okay, can I get through all that? Can I label it? Can I actually do it? That's the first question, right? And if I'm going to put some money at risk, well, then I'm going to take the time to do it. But if I'm just looking here, broad strokes, fuck, does it really matter? I don't know that it does, right? Here's the swing, here's the retrace, here's the swing. So I have a swing, I have an internal retracement that has now gone external, right? To simplify it, that's really what we've got here. So in terms of what are we looking at over here? So why does any of this internal labeling matter? Because we're trying to identify where's the last 5. Do I have the ingredients here for a low? Well, if it's W, X, Y, X, I'm still working on the A, right? Do I have an A? Or maybe I do have an A in here. See, everything's the same color, so I can't see it. Okay, so let me go here. Okay. Boy, that's a mighty skinny B relative to everything else. My first thought is that, holy shit, that's not much of a B. A, B. And we're going to do this massive C. Okay, maybe, right? Freyd's not know what he's doing, so I'm going to assume that he's worked through this. Well, you're kind of stuck with it, it looks like. Because if you look here, all right, so again, back to, okay, if I can simplify it, I always want to. Where's the deepest retracement? If I'm looking for a B or a 2, where's the retracement? I don't have one, right? Here's the biggest retracement in the whole move, right here. Is that a B? I'm assuming this is happening because of a higher time or lower time frame. That first 1, 2 is a little iffy, but I'm assuming he got forced into it. I mean, you gotta call it something. Okay, so, and I know he will have seen this, right? So the first thing that you have to pause on just a little bit, again, this is the value of drawing it. If this is the 1 and this is the 2 and that's the 3 and that's the 4 and that's the 5, right? What have I ended up with here? Does that have the right look? Now, the market's not always going to give it to you, but I'd be cautious with that, labeling that as my impulse. So then it just becomes a question of, is there an alternate in here that would make this a little bit more, at least have a better look? Well, here's the deepest retracement right here of the whole thing. Boy, this would take some time too. Oh fuck! I don't even want to begin on that. That could take half an hour. This is definitely a 4, right? So we can look at this and go, okay, from this pivot, let's just assume he's right, Because he's already worked through it. If that's a B, 1, 2. Just out of curiosity, right? So it's just, it takes just a minute, just seconds. Okay, right? So here, if you're like, oh, is that the 3? Oh, well, okay. That might lead you into, okay, let me plant it there and see how that plays. If that's the 3, it certainly looks empty. It's just a waterfall, right? So this is liquidation, right? It's happening here. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's as good as any, right? And we held the 1, right? So that's good news, right? So you see, it gives you confidence in 1, 2, 1, 6, 1, 8. I'm back in a 3. I held the 1. Okay, reasonable place to plant the 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a good 5 here. There's a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's an impulse. Corrects, swing, correct, swing, correct, swing, correct. Okay, if that's a 1 and that's a 2, well, there's the next 1, 2, right? So it just keeps going. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it doesn't look like that's done because I got to have a 1, 2 in here. So I'd actually take this up a degree. Take this up to micro, and we got to put in the lower degree. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're lucky, 5. So let's come down here. Let's put that in. We'll go to white here. 1, 2. Now, are we done? Is that, are we good enough? Well, so what's the next thing you'd want to do, right? Well, let's measure it, right? How much confidence do we want to have in that as the low of the 3? Okay, it's in between. Not as good. I can see the internal count is there. Until I'm forced to, right? Because you can just look at it and go, well, one possibility is that it's not done and the 3 is here. And this is just part of the internal 3. That's one possibility, right? Because you can kind of see it. Oh, that sure looks like a 4. Do I need that? Is that the internal 4 of this impulse that needs a 4? Fuck. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, that looks pretty good. I'm on a 4 hour. Take that to an hourly. That's going to look a whole lot better. Clearly a 5. Clearly a 3. No disputing. Again, clearly a 5, clearly a 3, right? So you look for these spots where it can go, okay, there's no other way to interpret that. That's a 5, that's a 3, that's a 5, that's a 3. Okay, so you start to lean into it and say, okay, I know where I am, at least at this degree. So you know where you are from this pivot. 1, 2. Working on 3, 4, right? This has got more to go, right? There's nothing here that says time to buy, not yet. Right, and Frey doesn't have any buys down here, so it's just a matter of tracking this. So it's like tracking. For some reason I want to say it's like hunting. All right, so I'm tracking your footprints. Okay, I know eventually you're going to stop. You're going to need to sleep, eat, shit, something, and I'm going to catch you when you're pausing. Okay, but I'm tracking you. I know right where you are. I know what you're likely to do next. There's a canyon up ahead. I know you're likely to go towards the water, right? It's the same kind of thinking. Like, what are you likely to do next? What do you need? What do you need? You need water, right? If you're tracking an animal, you need water. All right, if I'm tracking the market here, what does it need? It needs liquidity. Fuck, it needs the same thing. It needs, right? They both need liquidity, right? So where's the liquidity now? Right, all of these areas here. You got lots of liquidity up here, right? I've never used that hunting analogy before. I'm not a hunter. I don't know why that popped into my head, but it's kind of the same idea. You're tracking it. Might be able to work with that, something. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, okay, there's no geometry on this, right? So what else can we do? What else can we do to think about what is this thing likely to do? Okay, I'm in an impulse here. Now, if we pop way out of here, then I'm going to start to think, oh, maybe I'm done here. Right now, there's no signs of any reason to be a buyer. None. 0. Zip. Okay, I got a little bit of a reaction here. But so far, every one of those reactions has been a failure swing. It's just been a retracement. I got one little higher high here, but it was just part of the 4. Right? You need them, right? Here's a little higher high. You need those, right? You're looking for 3s, 5s, and 3s. Where are they? Okay, so what would you be thinking here? Oh, 1, 2, 3. Or, okay, another way to think about it. Where did the market last pause? Right? Oh, take a little nap here. We're going to pause, right? Nobody's real sure, right? Okay, business is getting done, but there's not a lot of conviction. Then we come back down. We just stay with the trend. So if you want to get on this trend, you do not want to be selling it here, even though I know you say, hey, Sam, but it worked. No, yeah, it did, but where did you want to sell it, right? You wanted to sell it on the retrace. So same thing here. If this comes back here and you're like, oh man, this thing's been great. What a great thing to sell. I want to sell it here. Not if it comes here, I don't want to sell it here. I want to sell on the upper end of the range. And if I've got a consolidation range, all right, what's underneath? Oh, I got nothing underneath. Well, maybe I got an RSI or something to say, oh, okay, we're coming up. We're a little top heavy. Right? You'd stay with the trend until it shows you that it's broken. Until I get something like that, and then I get this, and oh, now that's a massive change of structure and change of character. Right now, there's no signs of anything other than more down. So Solana, doesn't look like you're ready yet, but I'm going to keep tracking you. All right, good stuff, Raid. Thanks for that. All right, PKS Avenda, back to XRP. God, where XRP? It moves. A lot of people trade it. PK, what are you thinking here? All right, so we got, this has been a bitch of a count. 4 hour, right? So, Allah. Okay, let's pull back here. Oh shit, that's not going to do it. So let's go to an 8. The one constant has been this leading diag. So it's just been the complexity of this correction has been a bitch, right? So look at this. That's good work. So do you see? So this is just good work because it's just process of elimination. So here's an impulse. Okay, so it would have been easy to think, right? So this, in hindsight, right? You think it's a different story, right? So you'd have been thinking, oh, impulse 3. Oh, of course I'm going to be a buyer here. Of course, right? There's the impulse. There's a 3 into the 2. I'm a buyer, right? So why not? Well, you might have been a little bit hesitant. So again, this is why drawing. If this is the 1, is this going to be the 2? Right, length of time is what I'm focusing on there. That took a long time to finish that diag, and we're going to correct it that fast. Maybe. But when this started to roll over, that might have guided you a little bit, just in terms of balancing length of time. Oh, still, this would have been very appealing to be a buyer here, just off of the pattern. So if you bought it down here, you got a reaction off of. Oh, shit, is that a golden zone? Just out of curiosity, probably is. Nope, spiked right through it. Right, so that might have been a little bit of a well, but if it's a 2, right, of course, could have gone 786, could have been going down to an order block here, could have been. This is, you got to be mindful of this, right? So the 50 and the goldens, or even the 618, right? You could just 65. I added the 618. You know that whales, market makers, everyone else, right? Let's call it the composite man, right? All those that are working to pick your pockets. Well, they know retracement traders are going to be looking to buy at the 50 and the 38, right? I mean, you can see it, right? They're running the stops. So you have to be mindful of that. So when you're coming to these support levels, if you don't get a reaction there, just recognize that it's not like nobody notices that that's the 618. Everybody on the planet notices the 618. I mean everybody. So you got to be prepared to see the market get manipulated around those, because what are they doing here? They're just clearing out the retracement traders. All right, so when it breaks, you want to be out, right, quickly. Either way, you'd have been stopped out here. All right, this is pretty creative. So he's working with the market's giving him. So here's a 5, there's a 3, there's a 3, there's a 5. So what the fuck am I going to do here? All right, so then here you would have been thinking A, B, C, right? We don't get it, so it rolls over again. So what are we left with? A, this is a 3. There's the 5, right? Little retrace. So we get a little zigzag here. Okay, W, A, B, right? Complex B, C. We got a truncate here. The C, It comes down. Oh, lo and behold, look what I get. I end up with a triangle. A, B, C, D, E. It's good work, right? So we end up with a triangle. So it's W, X, Y into the B. Nicely done, PK. 1, 2, right? We got to have an internal. We need an internal. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can't go 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, you might have been thinking that, but once I see the obvious triangle, we got to account for it. So how do I account for it? I got to work backwards. If this is a 5, because it can't be a 2, so it must be a 4. So I got to work backwards. Okay, there's 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? So I got to add another degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So all this across the alts, they all look like they're in a 3, and there's one more down. All of them look the same. 1, 2. Well, what's the only thing to not like there? The length, the 3 relative to the right here, even in log. I mean, you're well past the 2618. So this is pretty extreme. But there's not much else you could do. Well, let's see. Well, this is an 8 hour. Let's just out of curiosity. Let's go to the 4. 1. Yeah, you got to account for that. That is an impulse. That's the correction. You got to use it. Here's another impulse, right? So I was just looking to see, can I put the 1 here? But I don't think so. 1, 2. You got to use it, which is bad news, right? If you're a bull, right, you're going to have to wait for lower. Well, depending on your time horizon, you might be like, holy shit, looks like I'm going to be able to buy it cheaper. You might think of it that way, as opposed to holy shit, this thing's still going down. Right? It's all a matter of perspective. If you're long already from up above, then you're like, oh fuck, man, I'm going to have to ride this out for a long time. But if you're not in, you got dry powder. Holy shit, look where I'm going to be able to buy Ripple. 19, 16, 17 cents. Matter of perspective. Okay, I see we got a couple. I got one up here. Would love your option chart. Would love your opinion. Is that what I got, Monty? I've got the one for the S&P.
Yeah, S&P. Yep.
Someone asked me for this morning. Well, longer.
Yeah.
Say again.
Yeah, the S&P.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, man. I thought you had something else to tell me. Okay. Well, so somebody asked me for this morning over in the futures room. It's not a terribly complicated count because there's only so many ways to solve it, right? I mean, we had been thinking that perhaps this was 1, 2, 3, but with the depth of the retracement here, you're kind of yeah, I'm out of log. You're kind of forced into it because it's back to what I was saying before. I want to complete here. I don't want to attach this to it other than this is correcting this. So the prior count we had looked at it was this, right? We thought that was it, right? We were getting a 4 over here, but it's too far now, and to want to try and connect them. So I can put a nice Elliott channel. I mean, it's not perfect, but at least for the most part here, I'm self-contained. Now here's the correction. Where's support? Well, you probably use that. Probably use that. So you might say, okay, I got areas of support down here. Is that demand? Well, here I've got the Sonar Labs SMC, the indicator, right? You guys know we partnered with them, right? So that's why I have it now over here. So coming down here, so there's a breaker block going in right now. So this was a demand zone that's broken. Now this bar hasn't closed yet, but this will turn into a breaker block because we broke it. If we're assuming we're going to close again. So it looks like it's 1, 2. We're working on 3. That's got to come down more. Coming for that C, right? If we're going to get a clean 5 out of that. So it's it's easy to you might think you can kind of look at it and say, well, wait a minute, couldn't that be a 5? Well, yeah, I could, right? But again, I take you to, all right, is that the shape of it? Okay, so so this would be an A, B, okay, maybe, but then that would be bad news. That would be, okay, so this is almost a little bit of wishful thinking here, because I can do this as an ABC. All right, now it's a little bit of a tweak down here to finish this here. You're gonna have to truncate, but if well, let's just do them both. Let's do it this way. Let's do it as an A. I'll put it right next to it, A, and as a B. Okay, well, unless we're going to have a massive rally here, think about what this says. If that's an A and this is a B, this is a 1, which would be bad news for the market and the economy. If that's the 2, whoa, are we going much lower? Now, maybe it gets us to the golden zone. All right, so what would you do in that case? You'd start measuring. If that's the 1, 2, which 1, 2, 3, Jesus, how are we even going to get it? Looks like you'd have to do extension the 1, 3, 4, 5. So here's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Working backwards. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you could do it this way. A, expand the B, C, into the 5 to get you down. So if that's 1 and that's 2, oof. That's bad news. Okay, that would put the 3. Oh, here, let's take that up a degree. Let's at least go to micro. That would put the 3 down at the golden zone. 4 kicks back. 5 down here. This you're hoping this is not what we have here. That would go off to the side. So then we'd have something like these lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going hard low, number 2,700, which then you start to think, God, could we be going that low? Well, why not, right? There's no, now you'd have to do the full count here, so I'm just working off of the COVID low impulse, and we're correcting it. So you can't eliminate this. That's for sure. But sure would create an opportunity down here. Well, let's be more specific. Where's the if you're coming that low? Oh, that's an inside bar. So I'd use to be generous. I'd use the whole thing. Right, the last downswing, I'd use the whole thing. Let's pull that over. All right, I'd use all of it. Coming down, well, look where we end up. All right, so maybe there's a little bit, I mean, it would certainly have the right look, right? It would certainly have the right look, right? If that's a 1, 2. 3 to the golden zone, there's the algo is going to react there with no question about it. We can do, I mean, if anything, you sit there with a catcher's mitt, right? That's a high probability you get a reaction there. But it would imply that there's at least it's going to need to test it. I'd be watching that median line the whole way. So it's either bad news or really fucking bad news. One or the other. I don't see any way to get out of this with good news, other than, oh my God, look at where we're going to be able to buy, you know, some major players. I may have been overly optimistic here. Well, that is a daily. Let's just for since. You got to get the A in there. That's the hard part of it. It's the first swing. Can you get the A in there? Yeah, let's just zoom in there real quick. You got to go with that as the high. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if we can do it. Before we assume the sky is falling, it would have to be 1, 2, right? It would have to be. Right? There's no other way to look at that other than 1, 2. You're going to have to bury it in here, or you're going to have to truncate. Right? It's one or the other. Well, let's just use our tools here, see if we can make this work, because if we can't, the primary is going to be the bad news. You might be able to squeeze it in here. To get that to be an 8. That's how you'd have to do it, right? So you can see the problem right away. I mean, so here I am. That is not the right look. I don't see a better way to do that. Because you need the internal, here, let's label it. You need this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, make it easy. 4, 5. Let's go sub, put it in yellow. You need that one. And even that is a little shaky. Let's see if he may be overly optimistic there. Because what that's going to do to that's going to pull everything down, right? If this is this is 1, 2, this is going to get gnarly, right? If this is 1, 2, good God, we're going much lower. Really, you'd be talking. It's hard to imagine we'd come down under 2,800, but I'm afraid that's likely the most probable path, right? If I really dig in here. I think that's a force fit. Let me pop over here. Give me 1 second. See if I can find a solution. I'm just checking something. Yeah, I don't think you can do it. I was checking in Motive Wave where I have an alternate that's already been blown up. I don't think you can do it. I think you're stuck here. Shit, that's bad news. I think that's too much of a force fit. So we end up with A, B, working on C. Unless there's something like this going on, if this is A and we're going to get some sort of a rally here for that to come back deeper and then go down, and so this is A and we're going to get expanded B for the B to go higher here, so A, B, C, something like that, maybe, but this is, again, wishful thinking, right? We just tab the median line, we do something like that. Still very bearish. So this might have to go to the alternate A, B, 1. Well, is there any way to interpret that more bullishly, that we could be approaching a finish? Let's see, what would that look like? It would have to be 1, 2, 3, iffy on the 4 here, coming down for a 5. That's your best case. Not so deep here. You're okay on the 1. It's that internal impulse is, I guess it's all right. You'd have to go 1, 2, or A, B, C, but still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That flies. Actually, it plays pretty well. 3, A, B, C, deep, right? Counter trend. 1, 2. Fuck. It could be a triangle. This could be a very big A, B, C, D, E. That could be a 4 over here. Nothing says buy. You got the algo play here. Let's just see how we did here. That's too high. That's all you got in terms of what the algo do last. That's it, right? So they're going to stay short until they get here or stop down. That don't look so good. That might be your best case here. Where would that put us? Below the 38. Yeah, that's lipstick on a pig, I'm afraid. Well, you got to figure we're going to get 50 or 75 this week, whatever we get. Then the market's got to process that. 75 is the surprise, although the market seems to want it. But I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he's going to do 75. Like, certainly could be wrong. He's been very strict about doing what he said he was going to do and not surprising the market. So I'd be shocked if he did it. Market seems to want him to do it. But assume, right? So if he were to shock the market, what's going to happen, right? You're going to see that. Now you're going to have to wrestle with it. Would that be a potential V bottom? Why? What would be the reason? Oh, all the rate hikes are done? No, I don't think so. Now you're back to, is this possibly a 1-2, which is the super bearish alternative. All right, guys, I think we got it there. I hope, Robert, that gave you some things to chew on there. Thanks for the contribution. I appreciate that. I'm going to circle back for SNX. Monty, anything you wanted to add? Oh, I know. I wanted to turn Mike over to Monty about the competition that's coming up. For members, you there, Monty?
Yeah, I'm here. I just didn't want to be too loud because I know they had to turn up their mic for you, which we'll get fixed, guys. Before the next live stream, we'll get it fixed where he's loud again.
I've got my mic turned up all the way on the OBS.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was.
We'll have to go through the OBS settings, but
okay, we'll do it.
Anyway, yeah, so there's the World Series of Trading for Bybit is starting in 14 days, and so we're going to have a Trade Devils team. So if you're currently watching and in the Discord, just wait to get a post, right, for the competition and how to sign up and all that, the link. If you're not in the Discord right now, go ahead and create an account at tradedevils.com. It's free. And then jump into the Discord. But basically, if you sign up and you're on our team and you use our link to sign up, then you're going to be in that trading channel, right? So you're not going to have to be a paid member to be inside our walls and get everything, right? So we're going to open up just a trading role. And so you're going to be able to see all of our rooms. Whether you're a paid member or not, you're just going to be able to see them all because you're taking part in the competition with us. So once you have that, the role, you're going to be able to chat inside that room for the competition, but then you'll also be able to see inside the walls as well. You won't be able to post in all the channels, but you'll still be able to see them. So that's a perk of joining for us. So
yeah, what a nice way to come in and take a look around.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically free. So we only do this during the competitions. And so it's not something we do often, right? I think they have this competition once a year. And then of course, Fimex has one here and there as well, but it's been quite a while since we've had one. So be sure to join the Discord for free and then sign up when we post a link and you'll be able to come inside and check it out.
Cool. All right, guys, you learn a lot and take a swing at the big prize there and kind of watch what other guys are doing. It's a good experience. And then as Monty just reminded you, give you a chance to look around all of our rooms and just see if it's a good fit for you, right? I mean, you can social membership, $49 a month, right? Pretty reasonable price. All right, I think we'll wrap there. We're a little early unless any other requests, but I think we're in good shape there. And hopefully we'll let the market find some stable ground here for, let's see, so you got Monty Crypto on Wednesday for his. That'll be very, very interesting based on all this volatility. How that longer term stuff is reacting. He showed me something this morning, is spot on. Any of you that are interested in our bot, I thought I'd share this with you, is doing pretty well, right? Most of it, and here's the advantage of a bot. Let's see, will they be able to see this? If I bring this over, yeah, they can't see it. So what's nice about this is this all happened while most of this in the overnight, right? So all of this happened while I was sound asleep. So again, it's not about the 195. I started with right about 1,000, so I'm just under 20% in one of the first trade was on the 27th of May. So not even 30 days. So the percentage return is pretty solid here. Pretty solid. Where are the trades? Here are the trades right here. So all of this happening last night, in the early morning hours. 1 loser, 5 winners. All right, so impressed with what I'm seeing here, right? Which is the whole point. Was both Monty Crypto and I we each took $1,000 to test it to see, okay, what's the percentage return? I mean, this is what did he sell this thing for? $29. I'm $19.99. I mean, for a bot, this is so aggressively priced and it's so well done, which is the only reason I would ever encourage people to look at a bot, right? I just got to know the guy, really looked at what they were doing, really thoughtful, and he's not trying to gouge people. Right? So that's why we're comfortable to recommend it to our people, even though we're not bot traders. The point of this is diversification, right? And you can't trade when you're sleeping. All right, so I think we'll wrap it up there. And if you got anyone interested in that bot, or they have a free trial. Again, it's a $19 bot, and as well. I mean, so you can put this on your chart and trade it manual if you want, right? You're gonna have to stay up 24/7, but you can do that. The only thing you're paying for is the automation, which again is $20. Right? If it doesn't pay for itself pretty quickly, shit can it, right? If it does, like I think you will find, well, you got another diversification tool. All right, there we go, guys. Okay, everybody have a good afternoon. I'm going to see if I can catch some action in the futures markets for the afternoon, and hopefully Bitcoin's going to start to stabilize. We'll be back on Wednesday with Money Crypto, right? Don't miss that, right? He's got a huge following. Lots of people really love what he's doing. And then I'll be back on Friday for God knows what I'll be saying on Friday about Bitcoin. All right, guys, we'll get the audio fixed. Sorry if that was a problem. I didn't change anything on my end.